Hey guys, OG Albina here, bringing you guys our PCL Season 3 draft analysis. Yes, we are in the PCL now. Unfortunately, our buddy Lux actually had to drop from the league, so Austin approached me and asked me if I wanted to take over the spot, and I, of course, graciously accepted the offer. I really do appreciate the opportunity. Hopefully, we can do well with this team that we took over for. So obviously, we didn't draft it, being that we took over for Lux here in week 2. So he played his week 1. I believe he lost to mid, unfortunately. So we're going in with an 0-1 record, the team we did not draft. That I'm not going to lie to you, I'm not the most comfortable with, even after a couple drops. But nonetheless, I think we should be all right. I have some fun stuff that I'm really excited to try out and stuff like that. So regardless, this will be a cool opportunity. I'm excited to use the Dragon Pulse on Wi-Fi because we have not used the new logo on a Wi-Fi league yet, only on Showdown ones. So that'll obviously be really cool. And yeah, with that being said, let's jump right in. Oh yeah, there's a face cam box, but no face cam this video because whenever I try to do draft analysis with like slides and stuff like that, it always lags like crazy, and then I end up having to like completely redo the video, and I don't want to do that because it's early and I'm tired and I want to record this so it can go up eventually. So yeah, with that being said, let's jump into the first pick. Again, I didn't pick these mons in particular or in any order, so what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to talk about the mon itself, and what it does well and all that good stuff. So our first pick that Lux ended up grabbing for us is going to be Corviknight. Now, I think Corviknight is a phenomenal Pokemon. I really like it in draft. However, I think it's not the best as a tier 1 pick, but it's definitely going to be a good catch-all check to a lot. It gives us a sturdy defogger. It gives us, a bulk up mon with bulk up Brave Bird. Body Press is another great option for it. Iron Head, obviously, it's going to be our steel type. Has access to dual screens, U-turn for momentum, has access to taunt as well, and it's decently fast at base 67. That doesn't seem like fast, but it's fast enough to outspeed most walls that we want to taunt and, really annoying stuff like that. So like a taunt bulk up set with Roost is obviously a really great option for this thing. It's a really good just check all utility mod. It's not going to be, 6-0 Kings very often or, breaking through defensive cores with its base 87 attack, but it's going to be an annoyance. It's going to be throwing off Brave Birds and U-turns and defogging away the hazards for the rest of our team. It's going to play a great support role for the team. So I'm excited to try it. I wish it was a tier 2 mon instead of a tier 1, but nonetheless, I think it'll be really solid then for us this season. Next up, we have Rabombi, and Rabombi is really nice this gen. I've drafted it on a few other squads, and I like it a lot. Not just for the webs option, but for the just raw speed that it has with base 124. There's not much in this game that really outspeeds it this gen. I believe that's like that's a top 10 speed tier. Not including if you're talking about like just mons that are allowed in Gen 8 and stuff like that. It's incredibly fast, and access to Sticky Web is also going to help us. And like I said, this gen is very slow, so that Sticky Web option is going to be great for speeding up our more middling team. As we go forward, you're going to see we don't have the most blazing fast team. So it's great to get a really fast mon while we could. Quiver Dance Sweeper as well, which is obviously really nice. Doesn't hit steals very well, but we'll have ways to circumvent that on the rest of our team. U-turn momentum, dual screens again, so we have double dual screens. I think it lost defog this gen. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it did. But that's okay. Sunsport, paralyze some things. It has access to Switcheroo Trick, to maybe trick on a Scarf or a Specs onto something really annoying. So a bunch of cool options that Rabombi has. It doesn't have to be your Focus Sash Sticky Web lead every week. You can run different things. I've seen Specs do an incredible amount of work in Gen 7 games and stuff like that. So Rabombi's going to be pretty solid for us. I'm excited to use it overall. Then next up, we have Cloyster. Now, originally in this slot, it was Ice-Q, and I'm going to be 100% honest. I think that mon is awful. I think Ice-Q is a terrible Pokemon, and I will never draft it. So I wanted a mon to replace it, while also replacing our Tier 5 Water, because Lux, as much as I love him, I don't think that Tier 5 Werelord is your only water type is a great idea. So we kind of replaced both of those typings in this one pick, allowing us to pick up whatever we wanted in Tier 5. So what we did, we picked up Cloyster. Now, Cloyster is a really fun mon. Did lose Rapid Spin this gen, which is pretty bad. That does suck a bunch. That's pretty lame. It would have given us a really solid spinner, and our removal core of Corviknight of this Cloyster would have been pretty insane. But nonetheless, it's still very bulky. People think of Cloyster and they think, oh, Shell Smash Sweeper. But 180 base defense, like this thing is a Darm check. This thing is 100% a Darm check, which is cool because our Steel type does not resist Ice, which is very scary. So this gives us a water resistance to Ice, which I really like. Access to skill link, so obviously the shelf smash sets with icicle spear and rock blast is obviously really nice. It can go mixed, especially if you're going with a shelf smash set. Base 85 special attack to 95 attack, so they're not too far off. So it's not the biggest stretch in the world to run both of those, and all that good stuff. So I think Cloister's going to be really solid just as a utility mon, setting up spikes and toxic spikes for us, or potentially getting off a shell smash or two. So Cloister will be fun to use. I think it helps the team out a lot in giving it that ice resist that we kind of need because our steel doesn't have one. And then next up, we grab Silvally. Now, I forgot to mention earlier in the thing, but PCL is allowing Dynamax with some pretty heavy restrictions on it. One, it can only, you have a tier 3, I believe it is, Dynamax Captain, and it cannot hold the Choice Scarf or a Life Orb, which is honestly completely fine when our Dynamax Captain is going to be Silvally. I'm really excited for using to use Silvally. This is one of the main reasons I really wanted to take over this team. Dynamax Silvally, without any restrictions on its typing, is going to be a blast to prep with and a pain to prep forward. People are not going to appreciate prepping for this. Literally being able to go with any type on abusing all the different kinds of potential Dynamax moves and stuff like that. Like if we're going for a physical boosting set, we can go with a Silvally fighting, or we can go with Silvally flying and go flying with Bolt Beam covered. Just a bunch of options. I think Silvally is going to be an absolute blast to build with. And it's just naturally bulky with base 95s across the board and all of its stats, and then you double its HP. It is chewing any hit you want to go for, 100%. Now, the only downside of this is we can't, use it as that parting shot support mon or anything like that, really, because we do have to Dynamax turn 1, I believe. So we can't really, set up the Swords Dance sets either, which is pretty unfortunate, but not the biggest deal in all honesty. I still think this mon's going to be really annoying for teams to prep with, especially just with the combinations of Dynamax moves we can use if we get creative enough. So I have a lot of really fun ideas for this thing looking ahead at some matchups, and I am really excited to use this one. I think it's going to be an absolute blast to use. Next up, we have Colossal here. Now, Colossal, I'm a bit 50-50 on this mon because I think it's a really cool mon. I love the access to spikes, rocks, and rapid spin, and that potential really cool ability in Steam Engine giving us +6 speed. However, the only thing that is really iffy on me is that typing. I'm not a fan of the rock fire typing, especially in a mon that's supposed to be bulky and fat. Having 4 times weaknesses to 2 very common types is a bit iffy for me, but nonetheless, it's still bulky enough. We can always throw in a Shooker or a Pachot or something like that, and potentially get the speed boost off that Pachot if we're feeling extra crazy. But pretty solid mod nonetheless. Like I said, access to both hazards and spin, so it gives us a rapid spinner, which I really do appreciate with the amount of hazards that we have up to this point. We have spikes and T-spikes on Cloister, spikes, rocks on this guy, and then webs on Rabombi. So we might not ever want to, and we might want to potentially, always defog our own hazards. What is going on? Sorry, it's early. Away. But decently good mix as well, because it does have 80 in both of its stats, attacking stats, 110 HP, 120 defense, so very bulky on the physically defensive side, and then 90 spin def, which is pretty solid as well with that 110 HP. So it's bulky enough. It's just a matter of getting it in on the right things. No hidden power definitely helps, so things can't just tech on hidden power, ground, or water for us, which is obviously super dope. And other than those 2 typings, we resist a decent amount. So I think it'll be a pretty solid. I believe it's a tier 4. For us, and I'm really excited to use it. It also gives us a fire type to break through steals, which our team did not do so very much up to this point, so we'll see how it ends up going. Next up, we have a Rangaroo. Now, I picked up a Rangaroo in tier 5, honestly, just because there wasn't anything left in tier 5 when I dropped Wailord that really fit the team other than Rangaroo. It gave us a normal type, which we didn't have up to this point, besides Silvally normal, I guess. So Ghost Spam isn't going to be as prevalent versus us because our whole team didn't appreciate like a Gengar or something like that. Not that this necessarily does too, because I guess you could throw in a Dark Pulse or a Sludge Wave is still going to hurt, but we'll be able to eat the hit. It gives us a Trick Room setter, which I actually really like for Colossal if we want to go for like a super offensive Colossal set. Gives us some good speed control in that way, which is really cool. Has access to Nasty Plot, I believe. What else does it have? Should know what a Rangaroo does if I drafted it, but oh well. Let's see. It has access to Encore, Calm Mind, Dual Screening, which is really good, Taunt, Trick Room, and it's not the slowest thing in the world. While it's, going to be primarily used in that Trick Room setting, just because of the moves it gets, it still has base 60 speed, so it'll be able to outspeed some things if we want to go with a faster set. We most definitely can. Foul Play to stop physical setup on it, which is obviously cool, and then your typical, Nasty Plot, Psychic, stuff like that. We don't hit Steel type very well, though, which can be a little bit iffy. So we're going to have to be careful around that. Wait, no, we have Focus Blast. Oh, that's awesome. So cool. I'm actually excited to use the Ring Group. I think it's going to be a pretty slept on tier 5. I don't think it's as awful as people make it out to be and all that good stuff. So yeah, it's going to be our tier 5 for this season. Next up, we have one of my favorite mons to use in draft, and that's going to be Komo-o. Komo-o is an absolute unit of a Pokemon, especially in draft where you can customize EVs and movesets and stuff like that. I love this Pokemon. It's a really good solid rocker if we do need it in the matchup, though we have other rockers that will probably throw in that role just so we can use Komo-o to its fullest extent. Unfortunately, we cannot use its signature move, Clangorous Soul Blaze, which is an Omni boost for the exchange of 33% of your health. However, it still does have access to Dragon Dance, has access to Autotomize, great physical and special coverage. Body press on this thing is amazing because it has base 125 defense, which is really, really cool. 2 really solid abilities in Bulletproof and Soundproof. Throat Spray is a great item for it because of how many sound-based moves it has, being Clanging Scales and Boom Burst and stuff like that. It has Flamethrower for those, pesky steel types that you need to hit 4 times super effectively. Flash Cannon, Iron Head for fairies, Poison Jab as well, which is really, really cool. Like I said, Alexis with Swords Dance, Taunt. I absolutely love this one. I drafted an IBL last season in Gen 7, and I had so much fun building with this thing. And it's great for our team, again, breaking through steel types, because we really didn't do so up to this point, other than Colossal, which is not something we want to rely on to break through steel. So I love Komo-o on this team. I'm hoping to put in some work with it because this is by far one of my favorite dragons to use. I think it got a lot better in Gen 8 with just the limited pool of mons that are allowed and all that good stuff. And then next up we have Drapion here. I do love Drapion as well. This is a great mon. This is a grounded poison. It gives us a dark type, which is very, very important in draft. I don't want to come up against a Reuniclus and just auto lose because I have no dark type. And they can just run that mono psychic step versus me or mono stored power or something like that. But very, very solid mon. It gets access to Toxic Spike. It's going to absorb Toxic Spike's Force, Taunt, Swords Dance, Crunch, Poison Jab, has access to Earthquake and Fire Fang to hit those, annoying steel types, which I feel like I'm mentioning a lot. But a lot of these mons do really appreciate the coverage for that. Has access to Throat Chop for those potential sound-based moves that are going to be very, very annoying for us. Drapion's just a really, really solid mon overall. I actually just really, really enjoy using this thing. I think it's great for the build and for just in general. It also gives us a base 95 speed tier other than Savali if we want to run a bulkier Savali or something like that, which is obviously super, super dope. And yeah, that's gonna be Drapion. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's gonna do what it mostly does. It can also be a pretty good breaker with like a Bandit set. Bandit does not tickle, and then 2 good abilities in Battle Armor to not be crit if we're a bulkier set, and Sniper if we wanna, cheese out some super strong critical hits and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's gonna be Drapion. Then next up we have Raichu, aka my boy Biggie Cheese. Shout outs to Kurt. Another really solid mon. Gives us a really good speed tier for our team. We kind of had a really big jump between Rabombi and Silvally / Drapion. So this gives us a nice 110 so that, 115s don't run just modest versus all the time. Has access to Lightning Rod to give ourselves an electric immunity and, a boost if we can switch in on that, which is obviously dope with Corviknight plus Cloyster, kind of baiting in those moves. Has access to Nasty Plot, Volt Switch for momentum, Grass Knot to hit ground types, which is obviously good because no more hidden power, unfortunately. Oh, and Surf, duh. I forgot I got Surf too, which is obviously really, really nice for us. Focus Blast to hit some potential steel types. It has Encore, as some utility. It has Nuzzle as well. Volt Switch, and also can go physical. It has the same exact physical attack stat, which people don't really think about. So we can throw off big wild charges or Volt Tackles or something like that, and, do some big damage like that, which is obviously super, super nice for us. Raichu's just a really solid overall mon, especially as a low tier mon to fill that speed tier for us, but doesn't give us a Swiper in some games, give us a good Scarfer. Actually has access to Wish too, so bulky Raichu is not out of the question at all. Bulky Raichu with Static as its other ability could obviously be really, really clean. And yeah, Raichu's just pretty solid overall. I think it fits the team very, very well in this instance. And then lastly, we have Golurk. Now, Golurk gives us a ground type, which is obviously incredibly important in the Draft League format, just so that we don't get Volt Switched and U-turned on for the till the end of the time, honestly. Gives us that blocker for that. So we have 2 immunities being Raichu and Golurk, but Golurk is obviously going to be kind of the better one, more preferred, because we're going to be able to hit those electrics super effectively and all that good stuff. It's going to give us a good rocker, which is obviously nice because this gives us 3, which is very, very important. So we're not forcing to bring Colossal or forcing Komodo to run rocks, because again, Komodo is one of those ones that really wants to thrive offensively. And if we don't have to bring it bulky or like bring like a Rocks 3 attack set, that's obviously really, really solid for us. Also gives us a ghost typing, which is going to be a normal immunity, which is always appreciated as well. I think Golurks are pretty solid low tier ground. I believe it has access to like rock polish too for some potential rock polish sweeps. Let me double check. Rock polish. Does it not get rock polish this gen? I'm pretty sure it did last gen. That's so sad. Well, it doesn't get rock polish. That's unfortunate, but it still has some other solid moves. It got close combat this gen. Body press is also another coverage option. Darkest Lariat, for some reason we want to run that. Earthquake, Iron Fist, and No Guard are 2 very, very solid abilities. It does have access to Dynamic. No, did it lose Dynamic Punch too? Oh, no, it has Dynamic Punch. Okay, that's cool. So it has Dynamic Punch to get those guaranteed confusions as well, which is pretty, pretty nice. And yeah, that's going to be our PCL Season 3 draft. I'm pretty excited to use this team. Like I said, not the most comfortable with it. It lacks that one really solid just breaker. Which is scary for me because I thrive off of momentum gaining and getting in a big threat and clicking a big button, poking a hole through my opponent's team. So we're going to have to adjust how we play and all that good stuff. But nonetheless, I think the team's solid. It's not that the team's bad at all. I think the Luxtrash are a pretty solid team overall. It's just more so me adjusting to how it's supposed to be played and stuff like that. And, really getting comfortable with it over the course of the season. So hopefully we can pick up a W in week 2, which is going to be our first official game we play against Shaquaza, which is really cool. I don't think I've played him before, but he's actually one of the people I really enjoy watching in the draft period. His content is incredibly interesting. So, yeah, all the coaches' links will be down in the description below. I recommend you go check them all out. We have some great people in this league, like John Jr., my buddy Diet Tight, a bunch of cool guys. Alex Cool Rocket, So, yeah, that's going to be the draft analysis. If you guys are new and you did enjoy, be sure to subscribe so you can stick around and catch these as they go up every week, as well as our like GDL games and stuff like that, which should be going up around this time as well. And